It's a two-race special today in today's F1 22 career mode, and we're kicking off at Hungary just before the summer break. So we're giving you the first race at Hungary and then the second race at Spa. But we're qualifying promising to be a bit damp. Well, it did. That was Q3. Did we make it to Q3? No, we didn't. But after the disaster that was the French Grand Prix, I mean, we were nailed on for at least P5, and the front left tyre went, well, you know what? We don't want to give you that. Chris Tarrant laying the smack down on it. Karate chops us out of Paul Ricard, and we ended up here at the Hungaroring with the aim of scoring some more points. But surprise, surprise, it's another race that's severely affected by penalties and all that good stuff, and just absolute shite drama as per usual. But got Ferraris take penalties. Leclerc just seems to be a guy that just doesn't take penalties. But we're starting in P9, and as you can see, let's get into it. But Magnussen, to our right, he starts in P8 there, and we're trying to get him. But as you can see, Carlos Sainz, man, that Ferrari just looked absolutely nonsense. Vettel, good qualifying for Aston Martin. Normally they're fucking nowhere. We hang it right around the outside of Bottas and Fernando. A bit of contact. We actually get ourselves an achievement. Always improving. Complete 250 overtakes. Woo! But at this point, except for Sainz, of course, we literally just had the top 5 drivers ahead of us. And it was quickly apparent that I just didn't have the pace to compete. Fernando overtakes us. I mean, the gap to Perez is like 9 seconds at that point. Alonso overtakes us. We now have Sainz and Lando Norris right behind us. Sainz overtakes us, but him overtaking us through the final corner was probably the worst decision that he could have made in that regard, because it meant he lost the back end, and we just got the slipstream the whole way down the straight. We overtake him, which then prompts Norris to get a good run. Norris and Bottas overtake him, but then we run wide where Fernando got past us, and I went, you know what, we'll let our teammate through, get him to build a bit of a gap and at least bring some points home for the team. But lap 10, we dive in, we put on the hard tyres. Knew at this point I was thinking, fuck it, if the hards don't last, I will happily just put on a set of softs till the end. But we come out and we're P20, like, there's no two ways of thinging this off. We are P20, and we are ages behind even Nicholas Latifi at this point of the Grand Prix, which is just an absolute disaster. We managed to find our way past Nicholas Latifi, or do we? That is the real question at hand. No, there is a safety car. There isn't until later on, and basically what happens, man, the safety car comes out. I actually underfueled the car by 5 laps, and as you can see, the car, I mean, we were sitting alright, I guess you could say, like, if we actually had enough fuel. But even then, like, I underfueled the car by 5 laps, and we still had no pace compared to previous races. It's like, how slow can the car get? But it was definitely a step backward here in Hungary. We ran out of fuel. We didn't get any points. Leclerc is running away with this championship. Verstappen needs a fucking miracle as we arrive in Belgium. But the championship, Mclaren are still doing good and all that good stuff, but we just need to knuckle down, secure 4th. I'll try and get best of the rest off Norris, and hopefully there's a regulation change going into next season so we can get closer to the top 3. Even though we're pretty close to Mercedes and Red Bull already, but it is what it is. Into the Belgian Grand Prix part of this video, a 2-race special, man. You've got an F1 22. What's that all about? But we're in the Belgium, disaster last time out, of course. And we're just really looking to push on in the second half of this season, you know, develop the car and see how we look going into the season 2. Because, I mean, if you want to even aim for anything remotely high, it's going to be difficult. But, I mean, race wins, I don't think they're totally impossible. But as you can see, we actually qualified P12 here. I thought the lap was good enough, but by the time you 7'd, it wasn't. But going into the starting grid, people receiving penalties. It's a Ferrari front row. Surprise, surprise, Perez, Norris, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, Schumacher. Due to penalties, we have moved right up the grid to 8th. Then we have Esteban Ocon in 9th. Max Verstappen in P10. We then have Pierre Gasly, George Russell, Alexander Albon, Lewis Hamilton. So it's a very mixed up grid at this Spa-Francorchamps. But we're starting P8. I mean, realistically, Ferraris are too quick, so if we can battle our teammate in Perez for the podium, I think it would probably be a decent enough weekend. But Mick Schumacher, so we break there, and then we dive right down the inside. And look at that, man. For settling for 8th to getting straight up to P4 with our teammate right up our rear door. Woo! But yeah, we managed to hang on there on lap 1. Moving on, though, to To a bit later on in the lap, George Russell, starting further down in the pack, clips the back of, I believe it was Alexander Albon, and retires from the race, but no safety car was brought out. But moving on, lap 4, we've got Perez in our sights, and the straight line speed was good, but maybe not quite quick enough to launch an attack, or is it? But we managed to launch it. Can we make the corner? We do make the corner, and that is us up to the podium positions. But moving on to lap 9, Perez wants to return the favour. Red Bull a bit quicker in a straight line. He actually gets the job done before the straight. We try and hang it around the outside, but Perez, being the feisty one that he is, manages to hold out. Moving on to lap 10, it is looking like a freeway battle here for the podium between ourselves, our teammate, and Perez. Norris beginning to close the gap down, but we pit here. We are 11 laps to go. We're putting on the hard tyre. I mean, could have did a few more and put on the soft, but again in qualifying, like after a lap, the soft was done. So I mean, what can you really do in the race with that? Not an awful lot. A few drivers though started on the hards and are still going, but they were like way down the grid at that point, so it doesn't really actually matter too much in that regard. But as you can see, lap 11 we're out. We are on the hard tyre. Lap 12, we've now got Sergio Perez exiting right in front of us, but of course in Spa you've got such a long run down to the start of sector 2. Perez had literally no chance here, because he just had, like, when you're losing that much down, and we've got DRS, the odds don't look good. But saying that, I mean, we looked like we were going to get him so easily, and then we actually don't by the end of the straight, and it's like, what happened? But the cold hard tyres haven't warmed up, and we just... yeah, it's like a switchback manoeuvre. As you can see, both Ferraris ages in front, man. Absolute shit. But we move on to lap 22. We now have Perez fighting for a move through Eau Rouge. I mean, that would have... Radion, actually. That would have been an absolute disaster if he went for that. That could have been deaths. Norris would have moved up to third, but... moving on though to the final couple of corners, we managed to hang on. Leclerc wins for Sainz. I mean, look how far the Ferraris were up the road. Yeah, we're squabbling with each other here for third place, but I don't know, man. I think you would have expected better. But there is the official order of the race. Perez manages to overtake us back into turn 1, which is funny. Hamilton got driver of the day. As you can see there, Verstappen managed to get 6th, Hamilton got 7th, Bottas 8th, Alonso 9th, Schumacher 10th, and then we only had the 1D, well 2 DNFs. Stroll did retire, but he's still classified because it was so close to the end of the Grand Prix. But there you have it, guys. Pretty toasty weekend. As you look at the standings, we are a decent bit behind Norris. That's who we're realistically aiming for. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say George Russell's completely out of range yet, but I mean, he is. McLaren, we still sit 4th. Happy days. Leclerc, though, he still rocks this championship, guys. And that'll do it for episode 12. Next time out is a trip to Holland, Max Verstappen's backyard. Also, check out the channel for all the latest F1 news and all that good stuff. And we've got the manager game that's just out, so enjoy that. But until next time, peace.